that.
I feel like Ottawa had like the big, a bad person as Tony D'Angelo, and a little bit, honestly.
Yeah.
And then you got Max Pacioretty. He's going to stay there. The only thing that is questionable for them is, again, we're solid, but playing fourth line minutes for most of the year. His offensive numbers still not great, but he's also, 22? The checking off him, I think we saw that in last year's playoffs, where like he just could not get free. Pacioretty is going to supply that. And then you've got like Pacioretty scoring up from the left on one line, Svechnikov on the other. That's two tough guys to deal with.
It's Martin
Nietzsche, sorry.
There you go. And like that signing is going to be a little tough with the only $4 million left, but maybe you can always trade movement rights if you want to. That's a very talented young player who is going to mature into like a top six forward for sure for decades.
Counting long-term injured reserve, counting on that cap, right?
Okay.
So that's an extra $4 million that they can spend. So they should be all right for Nietzsche's.
Yeah, Martin Nietzsche's, yeah. So it's more like $8 million in space as opposed to that more.
Yeah, so they're in a good spot. I think they have a really good team. It's going to be funny to see, or interesting to see how hard they go in on this year. Because, Pacioretty's a UFA at the end of the year, Jordan Stahl's UFA. I think just for pass doesn't matter that much, but
I think that's why you make the rest after every deal. Yeah, it's really for nothing off their lineup is what they said. For adding those two players, like they took away nothing out of that playoff core, which is just unbelievable work.
It is great. It is great. I was giving it to Eric Tulsky, not changing any actual information or anything with him, but just DMing him saying, how do you pull that off? It was like catch base.
It's a beautiful thing. It's what every team wants and needs,
Yeah.
It's the reason Vegas did what they did. It's the reason Carolina could just take a free Max Pacioretty. It really is the biggest weapon you can utilize as a GM in the National Hockey League.
Absolutely.
All right, so that's it for day one. I kept you so much longer than I said I would, but I really appreciate you sticking around late night for doing this day one of free agency recap show. Andrew, I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure, Jesse. Anytime.
And we have a couple big fish still out there, Nazem Kadri being the biggest, and then John Klingberg on the fence being the second biggest. Where do you think Kadri in particular lands?
I think just based on the loss they just had, it makes sense to go to Calgary. But you're forgetting the biggest fish of all. Will Toronto sign PK Subban?
Oh no! Oh gosh. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see that.
I was looking at some numbers today, and I thought that he was worse than he actually was over the last couple of years. It's just that New Jersey is that bad. So if you look relative to team, he's actually not been that bad. If he can rebound a little bit from the knee.
At least no one gets to play on the third line.
Yeah, that's true.
He has to play a sheltered defensive role. Like, play defense on the third pair, and then yes, I want PK. I think like a month ago I was on the reach to get PK for not being trained, and I kind of talked myself out of it at this point. And then now I'm like, okay, I don't want it to happen, but like if he's gonna go be a third pairing anywhere, it might as well be Toronto.
Center, and then a pair of Montreal Canadiens target. You know who else is trending on my Twitter timeline? It is the name of another center at the NHL level, another two-way guy, and somebody whose last name starts with the letter D. It is Dvorak, actually. Both Dubois and Dvorak have been trending all day on my Twitter feed, and Montreal Canadiens fans everywhere, from the coast all the way to the inlands. We have been discussing about these players of the hot summer afternoon Or, excuse me, it was the morning here in Vancouver, the afternoon in Montreal, Quebec. I'm told the Canadiens are still working with the Winnipeg Jets with the goal of closing a deal that would bring Pierre-Luc Dubois to Montreal in the long run. The talks almost paid off at the draft last week. Now, before we go over onto his second tweet, let's just refresh everybody's memory if you are not aware. Pierre-Luc Dubois was a former third overall pick at the NHL's entry draft in 2016. He was taken by Columbus, and he was a guy that was noted for his two-way capabilities as a big center, could play defensively as well, while also producing points. He maxed out at 61 points in 82 games played for those Blue Jackets before inevitably falling out with the team, having a whole bunch of conflict with Tortorella, and eventually